One.
Welcome to Band Bourbon and Cigars, where we sit here and discuss nothing but marching band and life situations. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Reggie Anderson, all the way from Detroit, Michigan, by way of Kentucky State University, who marched for the mighty Thoroughbred Band. All right, we also have Mr. Rock over here, the rock of the panel, Mr. Herb Lenoir.
Yo.
Oh, look at her looking so fancy and fine today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Flo over here with us as well. Hey, listen, ladies, get your hula hoop. Get your hula hoop ready. I'm telling you, you want to get that body snatched, get that hula hoop ready. Get at her, get at her. All right. We have a very special guest today. This person is a native of Georgetown, Kentucky. She's a mother, a licensed minister, mathematician, and entrepreneur. She resides in Florida with her children. She holds a bachelor's degree in mathematics from Georgetown College and is the CEO and founder of Mathematical Minds. Pamela is also a praise and worship leader for Faith Things Ministry in McLean, Florida, and has an entrepreneurship spirit that drives her passion for teaching and mentoring. Her career spans over 12 years of transforming mathematical challenges into opportunities for growth. As a high impact teacher recognized by the state of Florida, she specializes in various levels of math ranging from middle school grades to high school, catering to diverse learners' needs, including over age struggling, ELL, advanced, and students with disability. Through her role as a mathematical translator, she fosters critical thinking, mathematical fluency, and a deep-seated enthusiasm for mathematics among her very great students. But outside the classroom, Pamela is also known for her multifaceted talents. She claims to be a beast in spades, but we'll see. All right. But one thing this woman can do, she definitely can cook some great fried chicken, baby, adding that flavor to both the game and gatherings alike. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get that drum roll. I introduce to you Miss Pamela Young.
Hey everybody.
Hey, Pamela.
Hey. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, Reggie, for reading that bio. However, in the bio, it did not say that I claim I am a beast on that space table. So
Oh,
I heard her say it.
I am a
He is a beast.
I believe
He claims he's a beast on the stage.
I believe her. What you know about phase 10 though?
Oh,
I love Phase 10. Now, me and my cousins on my dad's side, they got me into that. We're heavy in that now. We're good with it.
Phase 10. What's phase 10? I don't know about no phase 10.
you played it, bro.
All I know is my pastor taught me and whooped me in the same game. And she referenced in there, and I was like, "Yes, Lord."
Got you right together, didn't it?
It got me right together.
Absolutely. That's how you learn. What's going on, Miss Pamela?
Nothing much. Like I said, just out here trusting God with this heat and humidity. That's about it right now. Get ready for this. What'd you say?
I stand there for some AC.
Listen, Florida Power and Light love me because this house is staying on 72 because I can't do the heat. I'm not built for it.
That's freezing.
Well, I know y'all see the
house is
in the background.
68.
You said 68.
Yeah.
No, that's too cold. I had to leave Kentucky for that.
I be having the flashes, so.
Oh, you have private summers.
Yes. Oh, it gotta be 68 up here, 72.
No. I'm a Floridian now. I can't do too cold. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Now, Pam, we go way back, and we've been having discussions lately, and we still can't figure out where the hell and when the hell we met and how we became cool.
I don't know.
It's just like you appeared.
I know. You just appeared in my life, and we've been rolling ever since.
We've been cool ever since.
That's the best connections, though.
Two different sets of children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those two sets of children. Yes. The twins and the littles is what we call
Mhm. Twins and the
them.
Littles. That sounds like a TV show.
The
Yeah.
twins and littles.
The
Twins and
twins
the
and the
Littles.
littles.
How old
Yes.
are the twins?
The twins are 21. They'll be 22 in 3 weeks.
Adults.
Yes,
You know,
adults.
oh, they
No more
said it.
I've
twins.
got one. Twin boy is in the military. He's stationed out in Texas. Twin girl is getting ready to graduate from college, and I have a 9 and a 6-year-old.
Okay.
So I'm talking about that's why big gap, littles.
Yeah.
One's going to fourth grade, the other one's going to first grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm going back to the classroom and teaching high school. So,
Oh,
ooh, that sounds exciting.
oh yes, oh yes.
We got a number of teachers on this panel right now. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
man, everybody's
That's
a teacher in their own right if you do it right.
that's right. Absolutely. Everything's
Mm,
a teachable moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
it
Everything's a
is.
teachable
It
moment.
is.
That it is. Now, we're gonna go ahead and continue this podcast. Now, with Pam, we met at Kentucky State University
Yeah.
and everything. And like I said, we still can't remember how the hell we met or where we met and all that kind of stuff. But however, Pam was not in the marching band.
Huh.
She wasn't in the
Okay.
marching band. So this is going to be very interesting to speak to someone that was outside of the marching band to
Yes.
how it relates it to their situation in college and after college. This is going to be very interesting where we're going to go with this one right here. This is going to be
Okay.
very, very interesting. All right. So tell us your story a little bit, you know, saying how you got, well, I do know this. I do know that Pam can sing her ass off. I do know that
Yes.
much.
I'm like, it looks like she's a singer here.
I know she can sing. You know
I
what I'm
do.
saying?
You can never
Smoking cigars, learning how to roll a cigar and all that kind of stuff. And I got that from her daddy.
My dad.
oh,
Yes.
Take it out again and
yeah,
everything.
he's a beast.
Yes.
Yes, he is. And he can sing. He can sing. He loves singing
She's
too.
from a family of singers then.
Yeah,
It,
that's
it was.
absolutely.
It was a family of singers. But growing up, for me, music was everywhere. Even though I got it from both sides of my family. On my mom's side, my mom can sing. She doesn't do it a lot, but she can sing. They had a music group, and they would go around from church to church and sing. So, and it was like growing up with the Jacksons. I like Michael Jackson. Like everybody sang and played an instrument. It was just ingrained. You just knew you were going to be in music. So I know the last time you said, when did you fall in love with music? Music has always been there for me. So that has been a thing. And even on my dad's side, all my aunties, my grandmother, dad, everybody sang. So it was just ingrained. I never really looked at it as a like something special because I have cousins that could just music notes just jump out their throat and they do all these runs and I'm just like, where's my specialty?
Yeah.
But I just sing. I just stand flat footed and sing. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
tell us a little bit on how you got to Kentucky State University, though.
Ooh, let me tell you how I got to K State.
Yeah, what was that journey?
That journey was interesting. I never K State was never on my radar ever. It just wasn't. Even though I grew up in Kentucky, all of that, I got a full engineering scholarship to the University of Kentucky. So I graduated from high school early. So here I am, 17 years old on the college campus, full ride. First semester, 4.0. Second semester, 0.6.
mm.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I want to know what stories you have that got you from 4 point to a
Mhm.
zero. Because we know
Ooh,
you ain't going to nobody's class.
how was it?
You wouldn't-
Sit down. Right, right. So it took my GPA from a 4.0 to a 2.6 something. So I lost part of my scholarship. I didn't lose my whole scholarship. I didn't. But I just, at this point in time, I went home and told my mom and dad, college is not for me. I don't want to do college. My daddy said, you going to do something? You can't just do anything. So I went to Kentucky Tech. Well, it's called Bluegrass Community College or something now, but I went to Kentucky Tech and did residential and commercial wiring. And was I should have went ahead and got my journeyman's license. I didn't. But even there, I had a professor who looked at me and was like, "Why are you here?" I would come to school half the time, make all A's. I just could do it. I remember one time I went to class and I got there late because I just came when I wanted to, and they were already taking a test. I finished the test before the people were in the test and still passed it. He sat me down, older white gentleman. He sat me down. He was like, "Look, I need you to go to school. I need you to go to college. I need you to get a degree." He said, "Kentucky State University has a 3-2 program. You go to school for 3 years there. You go to two more years at another college, and you will get dual degrees, engineering degrees." So that's when K State came on my radar. That was in '98. So in '98, I enrolled in Kentucky State, but I had graduated in 1996. So that's how I got to K State, and from there started my math journey.
Okay, so is it safe to say that you one of those kids that everything just came so easy for that you was a troublemaker? Usually it's those kids and stuff like that.
For me,
I already know this. I already know that this is so easy. And
it
they doing
was.
everything else.
It was, but at the same time, I didn't want anybody to know that I was smart.
Mm.
Sometimes I would know the answer and wouldn't give the answer. And it would frustrate my teachers because they were like, "We know you know it." What were you going to say, Herb? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I understand the thing about when you know something and you know how to do something, you know how to do it well, but you don't want everybody to know it. I understand that, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people know how to do, they just choose not to do it, or even show people that they know how to do it. And I get that. I understand.
But also, as a kid, I was labeled a know-it-all because there was a time that I would tell everything that I knew and that I could do it, and I just had natural ability and natural knowledge. You just be quiet, or don't say anything. So finally, I was like, okay, I just won't do anything. I won't say nothing.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it was growing up. So yeah, and then too, I would get in trouble. I was.
So, what were you doing that was keeping you from those classes? I mean, keep you from going to class.
Again, I told you I was 17. I turned I turned 18 on a college campus, and he was from Carroll City, Florida.
Oh,
Yes, he was from Miami-Dade, Florida.
Oh, yeah. He was probably showing you all the bling bling. Come on,
Oh,
you do it like this. Are you from Kentucky? Kentucky?
Kentucky, small town, Kentucky. And it's not that I didn't. My parents made sure that I was very well versed. I was here, there. We got to travel. I got to see the world, but
Yeah.
I got to see the world through their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see the world through my eyes, and there was a part of life that they kept from me, and as they should, because they were protecting me. But for me, I felt like I was missing out. So I made sure that I didn't miss out on anything, any party.
So what it was is that you had that free time. You was like, I ain't up with parents. I'm over here in this campus. All these people around here. I ain't got time for this class stuff. I know this mess. That's what it was.
I was a church girl that was wilding out. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
see, that's what
I went.
with me.
My parents couldn't tell me what to do. And here's the thing: I had a car as well. Because again, I was making good grades. My parents made sure I had everything. I had a car. I can go wherever I want. And I did. First semester, I was great. Second semester, it was all about it. So that's what kind of like my story as far as what happened with me. But to look back,
So if
Right.
you mentioned you had a student, one of your twins is graduating college. What was your approach with your children when they got ready to go off to college? Did you do something different than your parents did?
Yes. Um, with my twins, I was real with them. I'm like, listen, um, these are the pitfalls. College is time management. Yes, you can party, but yes, you have to go to school. You have to go to class. You have to listen. You have to do these things. And I wasn't a hover around parent, but I made sure I knew what they were involved in. I limited their social media. Even to this day, they have Facebook pages, but you don't really see too much of them on social media. I was in their phones. I made sure because I didn't want them to struggle like I did. And
Mm,
so, and I told them the truth. There, with mommy, you gonna know all these different things. And so, for them growing up and being there, yeah, and that's what kind of drove them into education. And matter of fact, everywhere I was, they were in tow. If I was going to class, they were on the campus with me. Because because I went to Kentucky State my 3 years, and then I transferred to North Carolina A&T to finish my last 2 years, and that's where I got the twins.
Wow.
So right, and so I came home from A&T. I did not graduate from A&T. I came home from them, had them, and I waited 5 years to go back to school because I wanted them to be in school. I had the opportunity to go back to school in North Carolina and finish my last semester, but I chose to stay home and make sure they were good. And then when they went to elementary school, I went back to school. So they were in tow with me. I didn't want to leave my children.
now, when you said about the uh, talking to your children differently than what your parents taught to you about, principle I use, like about the birds and the bees, like was that different? Because I remember for me growing up, it was just don't do it, strap up,
There you go.
babies, don't bring no babies in this house. That was it. Was there a different type of conversation for you, and then compared to what you taught to with your children?
Oh, yes. It was a very different conversation. For me, it was the don't do it. Save yourself to marriage.
Hmm.
That sounds good
Till you go back in
until
this.
until right. It sounds very good until you start to have hormones and things start to move and he's in your ear and all that goes out the window.
Hmm.
Um, so and then what happens after I've had sex? Now I've got to stop. You want me to stop? Wait a minute. I like this. And I liked how that felt. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me, I'm having a malfunction there. There we go. This eyelash just wants to do
I
its
saw
own
you
thing.
come up with it.
Listen, I'm about to just, you know what? Excuse me,
Go ahead.
y'all.
It's right.
Go, there it go, there it go.
There you go.
Lord have mercy. Oh my Lord.
Listen, you Reggie,
Mm,
you
mm,
already know me. You
mm,
already know.
Hey,
mm.
everybody else about you too.
Listen, listen here. We just go
We getting
go.
real up in here. Let me take
There we
these
go.
off.
Take them off.
Y'all
I didn't even
Come
come
ain't
on.
down
about to fight.
there.
Let me take these
Different
shoes
start of a
off.
fight.
Yeah.
Right. That's how it
Oh,
used
she
to
was
be.
doing that?
Let's go. Let's
Pull
get it.
my eyelashes.
But going back to what I said, you know, they didn't teach me about what sex was, and I feel bad for us in that generation that did not get that talk because again, there's a physical side, but there's also a spiritual side. So
Yeah,
when you start to have sex and all of these things, there are soul ties that you are creating. So
absolutely.
now after I've allowed him and we've done this, and then I see him over here with her doing the same thing, and I know what he's doing. Now I want to bust the windows out your car,
Hmm.
and just and I'm struggling internally, and the struggles that he struggles with, now I struggle with, And I'm not understanding why I'm talking to myself in the middle of the night, because of these different things. Those are the things that we weren't taught. We were not, those conversations we didn't have. So when I sat my twins down, I'm like, listen, yes, every time you lay down, I want you to think, is this the person I want to be connected to for the rest of my life? It's not 18 years. Because I look at it with the twins, when they have children, I share grandchildren with their father. It's not after 18 years. We're together for life in this. We share the same grandchildren.
Right.
And even with them, I said, hey, I need you to make good choices. I tell everybody I was saved by a letter. I had KIDS. I could have had AIDS, but I had KIDS. and I was blessed in that, and my twins saved my life. I will tell you that. Because when I was out there doing my thing, I was the number one stunner. Listen, if we gonna be
what?
Before the Lord, I'm not gonna say found me. Before I found the Lord, for real, I was doing my thing. But I had to be real with them and let them understand, hey, these are the things, these are the pitfalls. So because I struggled, these are things that you can avoid so that you don't have that. And so I've seen success in their life with that.
Being transparent with them about your struggle, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, the generation before us, they really didn't have the knowledge and the tools to even be able to educate us on those type of things because of how they were taught and where they was coming out of. They coming out of the 50s and the 60s and things like that. They're not really what we know about sex and STDs and all that kind of stuff. Now that wasn't, it was out, but it wasn't the forefront of things. People didn't really know what it was and how to handle those type of situations and stuff like that. So, I had to realize that growing up as a mature adult to say, well, my peoples, they just didn't know. They only was dealing with the tools that they were given. So, but what's happening is that our generation is dropping the ball on helping that next generation to learn about this thing. Because man, they out here running rapid, boy, like rabbits. Like,
you know why we dropping the ball? Because it's so much accessible than it was back then. You got
agreed
to figure that stuff out. Media, social media, YouTube, Pornhub, all that.
Twitter is now just basically porn.
That's what I'm saying. It's easier to get to.
Nothing's taboo no more.
Huh?
Yeah.
And nothing's taboo anymore.
Right. So you can walk. Back then, you got to walk to a store, a video cassette store, not even Blockbuster.
And then go in the back section with the curtain,
Yeah. Not me. All I had to do was wait till my uncles and then went out on the block and was gone and go up under their bed and mattresses and things and make sure that I put it right back where I found it. Oh, man, I will tell you a story one time. I got my butt toe up to by one of my uncles.
Oh, wow.
So he had his little nudies up under the bed and everything. So I had already figured out because some of my uncles, were two of them in particular, they're very particular about their stuff. And I've learned this from them. So they put things in certain situations in certain ways and turn them a certain way so they'll know if somebody touched their stuff, right? So I done grabbed the little nudie up and I'm sitting right next to his bed. I'm looking at it, I'm having a good time. Good time that thing. I done slid that thing back. Man, he came home. They call me Greenwood in my family. Wood! Huh? Come here. Man, you been messing with my books? He said, you're lying. And the reason why he was able to know that I was lying because he had spilled some beer on one of his nudies. And because the paper had got crumbled up, it was crumbling. So some of the shades from the book had fell on the floor from where I was sitting.
Caught in 4K, as the kids say these days, caught in 4K.
Yeah. He got it. But
Couldn't even lie about it. You stuck now.
For real, man. My uncles they was very particular, man, meticulous too with stuff. Like one of them had the little movies Man, I watch those movies, but you have to put it right back exactly where he left it at because he knew exactly what he knew the number. He would know the number at the bottom of the tape, man, like where he stopped it.
So you
But
need
yeah,
to remember when you start hit play.
mhm. Yeah, you better know that number. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That
these are the days of VCR, boy.
oh
People,
yeah.
people are like, what's a
I
VCR?
do not look forward to that time in my son's life.
What
I ain't
VCR? Oh,
Oh
what the
no, when he
looking
starts
for
to
the
have
magazine?
interest in those sorts of things.
How old is he?
Yeah.
He's
Oh, he's
already.
already
We've had conversations. And
he's
that's
Yeah.
why
already
I'm asking her about the transparency because I talk to my son. I make it 10-year-old friendly, but we have real
Right.
conversations. And it's
Mhm.
highly motivated by conversations I had with my middle schoolers when I taught middle school. Like some
Mm-hmm.
of the stuff, and it's a boy, some of the stuff they share with me, I felt honored because you must trust me to share these things. But my God, you dealing with that at 12?
Yeah.
Then I would
Yeah.
ask them, so my son is 10. How can I do blah, blah, blah? And they would say, oh, don't do this. Like the kids would tell me how what
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things to look for to protect my kids. I'm like, man,
that's good. I mean, because
yeah.
a lot of they
Yeah.
keep that to themselves. Let him figure it out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 10, he's already into it. He didn't. I know he got a smartphone. If he ain't got a smartphone, he got a laptop. If he ain't got a laptop, he got a tablet. If he ain't got a tablet, all he got to do is turn on the TV. 'Cause the same stuff that's on TV now is it would be X rated back in 1990, in the
Mm-hmm.
80s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff is set.
And the thing is about feeling secure,
Mm-hmm.
about being able to talk to the adult with somebody and things like that when you're going through that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel safe. You don't know who to talk to, and if they're gonna talk about you or
Yeah.
talk down to you or cuss you out or give you a whooping. So you want your children to feel safe and have a safe place to be able to talk to you. Because here's the thing about it. They're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
No matter what you say, they're going to do it. So it's best for us to give them the tools to
Yeah.
understand what to do when they get in those type of situations.
And
You know,
not sugarcoat it and make it seem like they're bad because they have these feelings
Right.
that
that's
we all
right.
have anyway.
That's right.
Right.
That's
Because
right.
Right.
we all went through it. Every last one of us.
Yep.
Every went through
And being that parent, said most parents don't want to talk about it because they don't know how to talk about it.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid to talk about it. And they
Yeah.
figure like if I say do XYZ, they really don't know themselves. And so they scared that they'll be the one, well, he'd be like, well, you told me to go do XYZ. No, I didn't tell you. I'm just showing you.
Right.
Look at him running with it.
And that was good, Fancy. The one thing you said you made it 10-year-old friendly. And that's the one thing that I was learning with my twins. When I would have conversation with them, I would let them tell me what they know and then go from there and kind of correct what information they had gathered to, oh well, sort of kind of, but and then going from that's key. But also listening, because I too taught middle school, and moving from Kentucky to Duval County, Florida, and teaching in Duval, and I taught middle school.
Move on.
Woo-wee. Some of the things I was like, and like you said, you did this in middle school,
Right.
it will shock you.
I
Because
think about the time when I'm growing up in middle school, stuff that went on, the stuff that I did, high school, middle school, all that stuff. You just learn that. So all it takes is one kid to know it, and every kid in that school gonna know it.
yes, sir.
That's
Yes.
all it takes. But that's still to this day. It takes one person. It could be an adult. One person to have one idea in their head to think that is right and it's completely wrong, and then everybody know. Spreads like wildfire. I could think back to a couple, probably an episode ago, 2 episodes ago, where somebody's supposed to have been becoming a teacher or something like that. But I ain't gonna go off that. I digress. But wildflowers, it spreads fast.
Yeah. I remember, like I said, I had a male student, share with me the story of how he lost his virginity at like one of those house party type situations. Unprompted, It was a regular Tuesday afternoon, and he, Mr. Ferry, let me tell you what happened this weekend. Oh, okay, what happened? Whoa, son, wait a minute.
Right. Get up. Yes.
You don't want to share this with Mr. Johnson?
Hell
No,
no, you just friend.
I'm talking to you, and I'm just like,
Heck no.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to.
Listen, I've had students that were pregnant because I told you I had overage students as well. So I had to deal with those situations. And even some of my male students were fathers or going to be fathers in middle school. So yes. it was tough. It was really tough. So and now, like I said, I'm transitioning to high school. I'm sitting here like I'm breathing. I'm taking a breather like, oh, what's going to be?
I'm always apprehensive about working in a high school environment, mainly because I think that I look too young for the kids to give me respect. But in my current building that I'm in, I'm actually stationed in the high school for my district. And some of the students that are there, I taught as sixth graders. So it's come full circle now. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't feel as nervous about it. I'm like, I'm going to just treat them like humans because that's what they are. They're humans. They just as humans, you know. But I've learned so much about myself working as a teacher and working in education. And I'm thankful for that, you know.
Absolutely.
So thank you for the work that you do with our scholars that are coming up, that are going to be leading us and taking care of us. And my general rule of thumb, when I would talk to my students, I would say, hey, I need you to get this math and this reading because I need you to know how much medicine to give me. And I need you to be able to read the medicine labels. And when I made it that simple, they understood like, wow, she really does care. Yeah, because I need y'all. You know, most teachers act like the kids are just, I don't like teachers that write kids off and tell them things like, oh, you'll never be, you don't know what this child is capable of.
Come on.
And if you're imparting negativity in that child, I would never do that. Even some of my worst behaved kids, I just tell them, you got really strong leadership skills. Let me help. Let's hone that in, you know. But
I got a question for you, Pam.
Absolutely.
So, not being in the band, but seeing K-State, how did that impact you, or if it did impact you in your life up to now? Or...
I was the band geek that was never in the band.
Right.
Okay. K-State, I wish I never transferred. I wouldn't have had my twins. So it's kind of bittersweet. I don't regret my twins, you know, and or anything like that. My children and my journey, I don't regret that. But looking back, K-State was family. We had faculty. If you didn't show up to class, they're gonna call you.
That's what's up.
Where were you at? What were you doing? What was it Dr. Sutherland? What was her? Oh Lord. I remember missing a class. I'm trying to remember her name. And she saw me in the cafeteria and was like, hey, where were you? Why didn't you come to my class? I was embarrassed. Just wait, what? But to know that you noticed I wasn't there. You know how many classes I missed at UK? I missed a lot to have a 0.6. And now the professor called me. But K-State was it. I have a lot of friends still to this day that shaped me. I still call, like I said, Reggie, Ahira, different people that are still in my life today that I just absolutely love. But K-State shaped me. And it did prepare me. Again, like I said, I wish I never transferred. I wish I would have gotten my degree from Kentucky State, but I'm proud that it is part of my journey. The days there were memorable. You will remember them forever. The flagpole. What they call them, idiot rocks.
Idiot rock. Yeah, the
idiot rocks.
That's right.
The list, that wonderful list that would come out that my name was never on. Thank you.
Oh man, I forgot about that list.
Called the freak list.
The freak list, yes.
Oh,
yeah. You want to be on that? You did not want to build that, boy.
No, you didn't. We and listen.
That was
We
social media before social media.
sure
Mhm.
Right.
was.
That was what's going on right now. That was, yeah, yeah,
The parties, Sakari DJing,
yeah.
you sweating up a storm in that daggone was it Belgium?
Hmm.
Ooh, yeah. You and listen, I'll say it. I'm sorry, K State football team. Nobody was coming to see you, Otis.
Mm,
It was
mm.
all it was all about it. We didn't go to the football games to see the football team. We didn't at K State. I don't know. I'm sorry, football team. I'm not throwing any shade, but we came to see the band.
Right.
We did. I
That's
was there.
shows.
What you say?
Mhm.
And yes, I am a little biased, but the baddest, best to ever do it, drum major is right there. Reggie, listen,
Peace, baby.
we would live to see him hit that daggone field like
Yeah.
and then Sakari and them daggone cymbals. It was it was cool. That's just one of the things that I remember. I will always have those memories that are etched, forever etched. So yes, K State, Dr. Tao for Cal. What was it Cal 3? No, Cal 2. I had Dr. Tao, little Chinese man over listen and staying in the library. So yeah, I love it. That's a part of me.
I can dig
Now, we've heard you talk about your past a little bit
Hmm.
and everything like that, and being transparent as much as you can be.
Absolutely.
What would you go back and tell your younger self, especially hanging around that marching band and stuff?
Oh my. Oh my. um, my younger self, um, again, like I said, at K State, I would have stayed, but I also would have been a little bit more involved too. Even though, yes, I was around, um, I, I, I had my circle of friends that I kicked it with, but I was social but antisocial at the same time.
Hmm.
I wish I took more opportunities and took advantage of the opportunities that were there. Um, I wasn't in the choir. Like you said, I could sing. Um, I didn't do anything musically in the band. I wasn't flags. I didn't try to be Miss KSU or anything like. I just existed. I wish I would have taken um, more time to actually live the life that I was there. But I will say to me, going back to younger me, Pam, focus, focus. Go to class, do your work. It is okay to be a nerd. I tell my students that I tutor and that I work with, I'm an undercover nerd. I know I don't look like a nerd. I didn't look like a nerd then. Guess what? I love to read. I love math. I could do math in my sleep. I just could. I was brilliant. I am brilliant. Um, I wish I would have shown that more and taken opportunity, taking advantage. They were paying. I was so smart. Let me tell you, they were paying me at the university to go to school. I had so many scholarships
Mhm.
after tuition, room and board, books, and all. Do you understand that they would cut me a residual check of $4,000 a semester?
Mm,
mm,
Uh,
mm,
That's not loans. Those were not loans. Those were scholarships. But because I was trying to fit in when I wasn't born to fit in, because I was born to stand out, I was born to be a leader. I
mhm.
didn't, I didn't, I didn't take advantage of that. So going back, be who you are, be authentic, be your true self. If they tell you if they don't celebrate you over here, go find the group that celebrates you.
mm.
Be you.
Oh,
That's what I
oh,
would tell me.
you hung around the band, you hung around the football team, you was hanging out on that yard, you was around that idiot block and all that kind of stuff. Are you affiliated with any organizations? So we got the Greek life that's going on campuses. All that. Are you affiliated with any other organization?
Um, I, um, I did not do the Divine Nine. Actually, I was Eastern Star.
Okay.
All right now, my sister.
Sister. But my mother and several of my cousins are AKs. My godmothers, uh, God bless them and rest their souls, they were Deltas. So I was kind of torn, you know, who I was going to be loyal to. So, like I said, I did not go legacy or anything like that. No.
Okay. Well, we had this part of this podcast, but we put some smoke in the air.
Now you did give. I'm not a fan of dark liquor.
Water is just mad.
Ain't nothing wrong with darkness.
But I do have my Southern Girl sweet tea.
Okay.
I like that.
Take a little sip.
Mm-hmm.
In the house, but I still got my cigar ready.
So this segment about putting some
in teacher form, I have my supplies.
I can dig it.
we put some smoke in the air. I don't know if you've seen any other podcasts that we've been on,
but that's smoke in the air.
When we put that smoke in the air, we tell a story, being that is funny and different, sad, or bound, check a bound.
I don't have them bow stories.
About yourself or about anybody else.
I don't believe
it.
it.
You don't have to say a name.
Well, you know what? I will tell this story. Huh?
Not to go ahead.
I will tell this story, and I have to ask for forgiveness after I tell this story, and I will not say any names. But I was the band geek that was not in the band, but my roommate.
I love the way she keeps saying she was the band geek but wasn't in the band.
Right.
But my roommate was a part of the band.
Okay.
And this particular roommate was known for her mouth. And she would run her mouth a little too much.
She was talking. Okay.
And I was never one who started the fire, but I listen, you come with the smoke, we ready. Let's go. So during the time that we were roommates, they were doing renovations on combs. So these water bugs, when they were doing these drilling, these water bugs were coming out the wall. I don't know if you remember them big, huge water bugs. So I got mad. I was like, oh, you want to run your mouth? You want to be nasty? Okay, I'm going to show you nasty. So I took some spoons and scooped them up, and I put them in her bed while she was sleeping.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was so mad that I sat up and I watched them bugs crawl around her bed to make sure they didn't crawl around and get in my room, in my bed, and my stuff. So she woke up that next morning and saw them bugs and screamed. And the only thing I did was I smiled and laughed just to let her know I did it and went to bed. I missed class that day just off the satisfaction. And she went to band practice and told everybody. She did.
My shirt says
Kentucky,
no word.
Kentucky State. So I just got so tired. I just put a sign on the door. Yes, I did it. Stop asking.
Have you asked for forgiveness for that? Because that was dirty.
That was wrong. That was 20-year-old me. But to this day, she ain't ran a mouth on me to this day.
She could have stuck them bugs like in her juice or something.
She was already doing stuff. Never mind. If I tell this story, y'all will know who she is. Herb and Reggie. I can't say.
Oh, I already know who she is. As soon as you said the one word.
You said she was all they got to do is speak back.
No, I wouldn't have known her roommate, but when she said certain things about, I knew exactly what
I do. I looking back, I was like, God, that was Pam, that was nasty, that was wrong, that was mean. But
that was mean.
That was but she ran her mouth. And I wanted to fight. I really, really wanted to fight her. I did, but I was like, you know what? I'm trying to do right. Remember, I told you I got that 0.6, and my daddy was mad. Okay. And
Mhm.
so I was like, listen, let's turn over a new leaf. You can't fight. So
I got a story.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, man. We went to this house. First of all, I took one of my homeboys with me. I said, "Hey, man, come on, we're gonna ride out here to this one little spot and stuff like that. Got a couple of ladies out here, whoop, whoop. And we out there, it's in music playing. I think it was what's that, Freak on You? Outkast at the double album. Yeah,
Mhm.
the album going
just
that
speak
man.
about
Yeah,
love.
speak. Okay.
Speaker box.
And we
Yeah.
having a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? We having a good time. Everybody got the libations going. We having a funky. When I say funky, when I say funky good time,
Funky good time.
having a funky good time. Everybody laughing, boo doo boo. That man, this fool gets up, and I'm thinking he don't went to the bathroom. This fool comes back in the middle of the damn dining room, butt booty ass naked. Like fuck this shit that we do. Who fucking? Like they put your motherfucking clothes on. Yeah. Yeah.
Her,
Yeah.
was that you?
No, it was
Hey,
not me.
man, all my stories is not about her. It's not even about her at all.
Make sure. Well, now he's streaking.
I'm telling you. Oh, hey, man, what the hell? Boy? Hey man,
That wasn't
we
me.
been in some situations, boy. I tell you. But that was a funky good time that night, though. We had a funky good time.
Nah, that was
Oh, really?
Flo, don't be yawning. Tell us your story.
Come on, Flo.
I ain't got no stories like that. Ain't nobody stripped down, running naked. Actually, no, that's not true.
Uh-oh, there you go. See? They trigger something and get the bank.
Wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
band story, but it's a musician that I know. He's from Detroit.
Oh,
He
that's a
sings,
band story.
huh?
That's a band story. He played an instrument.
Yeah, it's a band story. He's a singer. And one Christmas we was all at the house chilling, and it was libations going and things like that. And he was a twin. His twin brother dared him to run down the street naked in
Mm,
December. It was like
mm,
before Christmas, so it was like 12 degrees outside. And his naked ass running down the street, neighbors coming outside, and it was hilarious. But that's what happens when you get to drinking and stuff. You start doing wild
mm,
stuff.
In
mm,
Detroit in the winter.
Yeah.
mm.
That was
Yeah.
treacherous. Oh
And
my.
I was
Yes.
running right behind him recording because it was hilarious. We had to have footage of that. Okay.
First,
Dang.
first thing to go is your judgment.
Mhm.
Oh my
Oh, man.
gosh.
Let's see. We got one.
Mm-hmm. Heard that
Mm,
story. This one time at band camp.
yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
one time at band camp, so we are all sitting around the house. Everybody sitting around every day, chilling. And then one day somebody decided, say, "Hey, let's go get some beer." We went and got beer and drunk.
This thing.
Nothing bring down the street naked.
Hey, oh my goodness, man. Your storytelling is terrible.
No drunken fights.
I mean, look, I'll be on the edge of my seat too, like, okay, what about
Like it's about to
Yeah,
go
twin,
down.
twin.
this? What is a beer name with
Greg,
this?
you can't even make up a story that sounded.
Oh, that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like stories. It take you to places. It can give you highs. It can give you lows. It's just all about that listener. They feel that energy from that story. It can be that powerful. That beat. It's just how you deliver
Mm.
Now I
it.
know everybody,
And we
everybody,
the drink.
I bet you everybody on here seen In Living Colors. They
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
the segment where he was always behind bars with this here.
The
Like,
simulation of the
what story
anticipation
is you talking about? What are you
of the
saying?
emancipation.
I'm excited. Like, okay, what he about to say?
Right.
He
Now I'm gonna
just
start
dropped me
listening to
off.
your
He
stories like
straight up dropped me off.
Oh man.
Oh man, but that's
Yeah.
that's hey, that's 10. That's 10. 10 to get that to you.
that.
Like, what?
That seemed
Yeah,
like 4.
yeah, this
Oh no. It moved up a couple notches.
Okay.
He done came up a couple of notches. He done came up a couple of notches.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep drinking. Keep drinking.
He about at a one. He about at a one right now.
Okay.
I have a question, Pam.
Yes.
Some exercise you do. So build your perfect singing group. So you can
Mm.
use singers from any genre, any time. Just
Ooh.
how would you structure? How many people would be in it? What voices would you have? Just
Mm. Oh,
Hmm.
this is different.
That is different. Because I actually had to do that at Georgetown College. I was given the task of creating a gospel choir, and it still goes on today. It's called Joyful Noise.
okay.
Um, so I, you got to have, of course, strong voices, but people that can hear and listen. Um, ooh. So I can bring anybody in,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Your, your,
past.
your soprano, your alto, your second alto, your
My
tenor.
alto, listen, um, I love Jill Scott.
Mm.
I love her voice.
That's my,
It's deep, it's rich. Ooh,
that's my
yes.
baby. I'll go out with Jill Scott.
Listen, okay.
Got a thing for her, don't you?
I
Mm-hmm.
listen, love me some Jilly. Um, as far as a soprano, um, I know, but I gotta get Whitney. Whitney Houston is a voice
Hey,
like none other.
look, yeah,
Um,
her personal business. That's her personal.
yeah, that's her personal struggle, but she still had that gift.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely.
oh, and mm, I won't go on Whitney. So we got Whitney, we got Jilly from Philly. Um, of course, Luther Vandross, but I will say, even if I brought it to this time now, I would even say Ruben Studdard because
He came
to
close.
he came close to Luther,
Yeah, he came close.
and it was just so mellow and in that. Of course, my daddy.
Ooh.
Got it. I call him Michigan J Frog. You know that little hello, my baby, hello, my darling. Just sing it all the time, and then when it comes time for you to sing, won't do it. But but my dad has such a commanding and wonderful voice. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. It's like of course I grew up to that voice. So I'm like, I hear it like ooh. Um, so that would be my core group, so to speak.
Okay.
I would even throw in my children because Anaya and Olivia, even though Anaya's the twin girl, but the 6 year old, she, she has a strong voice for a 6 year old. So those are my soprano sections,
Okay.
and my tenors is Daniel and Darian, and so I'm the alto. If you can't hear it, even in my speaking, so my littles have perfect pitch. So I love that about it. So that would be my perfect choir.
Oh
So
yeah.
Okay. She put that
Hey,
Luther Van man. I tell people all the time, Luther Vandross is the greatest balladeer ever.
mhm.
Greatest ever.
That
ooh,
So smooth. Like his voice is just.
yes, like butter,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
butter.
and it cuts through. It cuts
Yes.
through. And he don't have to yell. He don't have to shout.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to be like hers boy. Turn him off.
Turn them off, Teddy B. Come on, Teddy.
hey, the Ozzy brothers got to stay in the background, man. I'm always gonna have Ozzy.
Ooh.
The
You know,
Ozzy brothers.
when speaking of group, but as you started to talk and list people, I started to picture a choir.
Mhm,
Me
People
too.
mentioned being the lead singers, like think praise and worship, how they have front lead
mhm,
choir. So Whitney, Jill, Luther, your daddy. I was like, oh, it started to come together in my head.
Yeah, I start seeing
mhm,
it. See, in the
Mhm.
beginning when you started it, I was thinking like a group like Jodeci or something like that, like a four.
Mm-mm.
No, no,
Mm.
no, no. I just used them as an example. I was
Yeah.
mhm.
thinking like a group on stage, but then when you started naming off the more and more people, that's when I start seeing what you just said, Flo.
Mm-hmm.
With
Mhm.
a stage singing like a choir
Yeah.
style.
And then the babies down front,
Yeah,
leading
Mm.
stuff.
that is like one of my dreams to do is have a massive choir and actually direct. I love to direct.
Okay.
I can sing, and a lot of people don't hear me sing leads a lot because I like to direct. That's how I get out of it. But one of like my biggest thing, I want to just a choir to where I can just bring in the musicians and tell them where to go and have the leads. That's my favorite thing to do, is bringing the collaboration of music together. So I like that question. That was fun.
I always love singing in groups, and I'm not as comfortable singing lead, but that's only because I don't do it, and I don't really like to do it. But groups, even if it's just three of us, the harmony, it puts me in the same mindset of marching band, how you have those different parts. Here, so when there's other voices, I can literally close my eyes and see colors, and I can associate the colors with different voices. Like it just,
yes,
it's kind of hard to describe. I remember watching an episode of Empire, and there was somebody on there who said that they saw music in colors. Yep. I can't remember who it was, but when they said it, I said, "Doggone it, that makes sense."
That was Lucius Lyons that was talking about that.
Okay, yeah, really? That's what had a mental episode, right, or something. Yep.
Yeah,
that's what I love. And that's hearing the different voices and filling in and stuff like that. Yeah, it's beautiful.
See, marching band and singing is the same thing. It's still an instrument. Your voice is an instrument. You know what I'm saying? That voice box that you have in there, it's still an instrument. You know what I mean? So we're doing this exact same thing. Instead of singing it, we're just blowing that note through a horn. And you know, you have your bass, your bottom, which is your tubas and stuff like that. Baritones will be up in there. Baritones is your baritone. You know what I mean? Your sopranos, your piccolos and flutes and clarinets and things like that. Then you have your trumpets. You know, so it's all these different blends of sounds coming together, make one beautiful sound.
Yes,
you know, make one beautiful sound. Man, that music, man, I'm telling you, it just charms my soul. It does.
I think that's what a lot of our youth today, they're missing. They need a creative outlet other than basketball, football, all those kinds of things. Because some kids won't be reached with those tools.
Right.
The other tools.
But they're cutting the programs, though. Yeah. They keep saying music, choir, and band. It's not important, but it is, because
the people who are saying that are people who didn't do band and choir in school.
Absolutely.
But I think it's important.
They don't understand it. That when you doing an instrument or singing, when you have to read those notes, it's mathematics.
It is.
It's mathematics, and then you still have to read too, because you have these things that's up there talking about staccato and that kind of stuff, legato, and you have to be able to read that and understand what these words mean and all that kind of. Then you have emotions in it and putting feelings behind it. So there's an array of things that you're learning. Then there's the physical part of it, the marching and standing up on stage singing and moving around or dancing and stuff like that. There's so many things that you're learning and getting from these musical organizations that they need to happen more. They need to have it more.
They do. And that's why I incorporate music into my classroom. And that's how I teach math, so that they can build those concepts. I remember I was teaching how to convert a fraction. And so, you have to multiply the bottom and add the top. So I was like, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from my whole team. Just little things like that. Like my whole class, like, okay, Miss Young. And we just go little different things. It's music. Music. I like to move it. That was scientific notation. So they had to move the decimal. I like to move it. Or I would use this is how we do it. We would be in there and we were going. I'm like, okay, let's go. Different things. And they remember it. And that's how we use music, and like you said, it's mathematical. They go hand in hand. And those are my two things that have always been with me.
I remember you called me one time. Pamela was asking me how to teach something. It was something, and I was like, I used this formula. It's not in books. It's one of my formulas called SSI. Right? Sing, say, identify. That's how I teach. I've used this word that's called Bloom's taxonomy, which is learning something from its simplest form to its finite form. Right? So I'm going to start very simple. We're gonna sing. I'm gonna figure it out through a song some type of way, because then they learning it kind of through rope, right? But now that you know it through rope, now Saying, now we're going to say it. Let's say
Mhm.
it. And by saying it, and you constantly saying it, now you can identify it. Now let's identify it. Once you can get those things down, you can identify it. Now you can go into all the other stuff that you need to go into. And this is what I've been doing with my 2-year-olds. I've
Uh-huh.
done I've done with my first graders all the way up to fifth grade. The same thing. And people are like, well, how do you get your classroom to be da 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 da? Da? Hey, we're gonna start simple first. You know what I'm saying? And that way everybody is learning, is sharpening the skills of those who are like a Pam. This is I'm just too smart for this. But at the same time, it's moving them along, you know what I'm saying? And they're all
Right.
still learning and it's fun. It gotta be fun, man. I like having fun. We have fun while we learn. You know, a lot of teachers out here, they don't want to have fun. They just want to stand in front of that board and just give directions to people
Yes.
that they're supposed to listen to. No, man, you gotta have fun.
Right. And that's boring. That's boring. I like to move around my classroom, and I call myself a mathematical translator. I'm not a tutor. I'm a mathematical translator. Like you said, breaking it down to the simplest forms. Um, Again, I put it in a language that you understand.
That's right.
So if I get to learn who you are, I use attributes of you to
Oh, yeah.
put it into and make math alive to you.
That's right.
That's how I've been able to do it. But I hear all the time, well, Miss Young, why don't they just say that? I don't know. Everybody can't be a Miss Young, baby. I don't know what to tell you, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna help you through this. So yes, but breaking it down to the simplest form, and even like you said, singing it, it puts music is everywhere.
it's everywhere.
Music is everywhere. It's a part of all of us. So if I can tap into a place for you in music, I can teach you math. I've done that. That's been pretty much my success and how I do it.
That's
Yeah.
right. Music, like you said, music is everywhere. First of all, you can't be alive without music.
Heck,
Let me prove it to you. Put your hand on your heart.
Yep, the rhythm of your heart. Yes,
You ain't
God.
alive when you in your mama's belly.
be.
Hmm.
That fetus ain't alive until that heart get to beating.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right.
That heartbeat is a rhythm. It has to
Mhm.
be on the rhythm in order to do the functions that it needs for your body to function
Come
to be
on.
alive. So the first thing in your life to be in existence is that heartbeat, baby. Is that rhythm. So,
Hmm.
Pam, thank you for joining us here on Man, Bourbon, and Cigars. We enjoyed you talking about family and being, what you say, friends of the band or something like that. What you call it?
Hands
No,
in the
I was the band geek that was never in the.
Band geek that was never in the band. I love it. I love it.
All right.
Man, it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
time
Bye.
you did. All right, fellas, ladies, gents, end of the show.